Hello, intentional people. I call you intentional because only a serious person can be serious about his health. If you are not intentional, you can't do it. Now, I want to talk about some of the good foods that we eat the wrong way. Now, when you talk about foods like fruits, vegetables, and let's say proteins and others, we consider them healthy. Even the carbohydrate, yeah, they are all good foods, but how do you take them? Most especially fruits and vegetables. We easily abuse this particular class of food or group of food. Now, when we have fruits, most of the fruits are sweet, or most of the fruits are sugary in nature. They have a lot. They have a lot of sugar, and because of that, when you are taking some fruits that are sugary, you are not supposed to take too much of it. Most of us believe that if it is fruits, I can take 6 mangoes, 5 mangoes is okay, no problem, but it's not the right way to do it. And to take a mango, you look at the size. You are not supposed to take too much of it because it's sugary. That's why it can spike it can spike the sugar of diabetic patients. The same thing with fruits like dates, dibino, dates. Dates also has this ability of spiking sugar because of its sugary nature. So if you are to take, you have to take it with limitation. You don't take too much of it. That means you can still have the good food and abuse it to still achieve the wrong results. Then when you look at vegetables, some of us like cabbage, but sometimes it makes us to bloat. Some of us feels bad when they take it. If that's the case, then you have to bleach, like you have to steam it before you take. It will go well. Then if you want to use vegetables, sometimes bleaching or steaming is very good, but if you are good to go without steaming, then you don't need to steam. Make sure you get what works well for you. Don't stop taking that vegetable because you are bloating or so. No, just try and find out if you bleach, will it be better? Will it be better absorbed? Will it be better for your stomach? Then you go with that. The next thing is protein. Yes, we have a dietary requirement for protein. However, most of our challenge in Nigeria is we don't even meet up to the necessary need or the required amount of protein we need in a day. But for some of us that have the opportunity, there is a limit to the amount of protein we are supposed to take. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm insisting on those or the amount we are supposed to take that we are taking below optimum. Please, let's try and incorporate protein in our diets as much as possible. When we are talking of protein, we are not talking of you killing a whole chicken or so, a goat or something. You can take 2 eggs, you can take 3 eggs or more. Depends on your affordability. It depends on how many you can afford. You can eat some pieces of meat, but try and make sure that you include it in your diet. By the time you want to eat, as much as possible, include protein and vegetables. They improve, they support your carbohydrates and limit the extent of the carbohydrate that you will be taking, that the excess carbohydrate will be taken. When this combination is part of your food, then you may not need to eat too much carbohydrate. And don't say I'm not diabetic, I don't have to regulate my carbohydrate. Yes, you are not diabetic, but they weren't diabetic from childbirth, most of them. They developed the challenge along the way. So it's good you start watching. Another big problem we have is the way we prepare these foods, especially vegetables like vegetable soup. You can prepare the right substance, like I said, the wrong way. When you use too much oil, which is very common with us, too much palm oil, too much vegetable oil, yes, they say palm oil is healthy. Yes, it's healthy, but too much of everything is bad. So when you want to use palm oil, please reduce the amount of palm oil you are using. It can still abuse your calorie and energy demand for a day. You may be taking the right food, the good vegetable, but because of the excess palm oil, you may end up spoiling the whole food. I will come to break down with time how these things are needed, the amounts they are required, and the quantity and the way you are supposed to regulate them. But as much as possible, please, that kind of palm oil that used to float, that we used to see it, our food swimming, palm oil below it, is not a healthy way of eating. As much as possible, reduce the palm oil, reduce the vegetable oil, reduce, even if it is any kind of oil, please reduce it. No matter how healthy the oil is, it should have a limit. Then that goes to every food, including sugar and other foods, vegetable fruits like I mentioned, and as much as possible balance your diet like I said earlier. Don't say you are not rich to buy this, you are not rich to buy that. Yes, we have protein in beans, even though we have too much content of carbohydrate in it, but at least there is a good percent of protein in beans. You can use other sources of protein, like I said, you can use egg. You mustn't use meat. And if you are to eat well, which you are going to eat, then you can see that you will even save more by living within the required dietary intake. You may spend more or less than you think you will spend by eating just normal random feeding and snacking and everything. By the time you start living in a disciplined feeding way, you will save more and you will be able to meet up to that particular lifestyle. It's not expensive, it's very easy, it's affordable. I'm living it, I'm doing it, and some people I've guided are doing it conveniently. Thank you very much.